What do you like most about the Philippines and Baguio in particular?
The people, the kind, nice, courteous, and I'm a people person. So, like, if someone asks for a picture, I'll stand up 100 times during dinner to take a picture, because if I can make somebody happy by just smiling, it's not that hard.
Yeah, I just want to say that's beautiful about you, and I really appreciate your openness even to the interview. I mean, it's a beautiful spiritual part of you, though. What do you think of how he looked in terms of shape in that fight? Did he seem like sharp to you?
No, actually, Floyd seemed a little flat-footed. He doesn't have the mobility that he once had. I saw that in his last two fights.
Yeah.
We're not sure if that's by choice or by age.
Yeah.
Because one thing about boxers, the legs are the first thing to go, and that's a very true statement. It's neurologically, the damage goes to the legs first. I suffered the same problem, where I couldn't control the movement anymore. So he looked. I don't think he can give Manny Pacquiao as much trouble as he once could with the movement, because the movement was one of the hardest things to deal with.
Yeah.
And I think he doesn't have that movement for 12 rounds anymore, because he's getting older, and I see flaws.
How would you rate it in the history of matchups, in the history of boxing?
On paper, it looks great, because you've got a boxer and a fighter, and those combinations usually work out really well, because the boxer is trying to outsmart the fighter. Man, you have one guy who averages 15 punches around. You have another guy, Manny Pacquiao, who averages 80 punches around. I can't see the 15 guy beating the 80 guy, but he's so accurate and so precise with his shots. He's not a volume guy.
Yes.
Yes, but his punches are effective. So it's a great matchup on paper. Could it be a boring fight? Yes. Could it be an exciting fight? Yes. It's just depending on how they go about it. But on paper, it looks like a great fight. It looks like a fight that you might have a rematch in.
So in terms of speed, do you think Manny has an edge?
Manny has an edge in speed, mostly foot speed, though.
Okay.
See, when people judge Manny's speed, they usually judge his hands, but it's really not. That's not the effective movement. The effective part is the speed of the footwork.
Exactly.
And that he
can punch from so many different positions.
And angles strongly.
Yeah.
So Mayweather doesn't have that.
Yeah. How about power? How do they match up? Edge.
Power-wise, no. We've got that. Floyd's not a big puncher. He has bad hands. He actually has real fragile hands, and he has to shoot him up with painkillers before every fight. It's illegal in some states also, but they let him get away with it.
Wow. How about stamina?
They're both workaholics.
Okay.
Both guys have that similarity in work ethic. Floyd's a little more sporadic. Manny's more, organized. Mayweather, he wakes up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Let's go work out. And his whole crew has to get up and go. So he sporadically works, but he's a gym rat though.
Yeah.
He does train his ass off. They both have that similarity.
Right.
Work ethic. The speed and power together, because you don't see the punch coming, and that's usually the punch that will get you. But Floyd, he's never been down, and he is very slick, and he sees very well. So,
how about this? This is a very important issue, which came up in the last fight. But how about each fighter, Floyd and Manny, in terms of counterpunching? Will Manny need to perfect more counterpunching to beat him? Or
yeah, the thing is, Floyd's a better counterpuncher than Manny, yes, but Manny is getting better at being a counterpuncher. But like the last fight, Marquez is a counterpuncher and he's not aggressive. So when you have two guys trying to counterpunch, it makes for a little bit of a slower pace, of course. And the thing is, Manny's going to have to draw Floyd's lead out and counter. That's how you have to deal with counter punches, and that's something we have to work on a lot more. Yes.
Right. Okay. As we know, Manny is the speed king. But how about Floyd? Does he also have respected speed in his punches?
He has great hand speed. Manny has better foot speed and hand speed. But overall, they're both very, very quick fighters with their hands, and both have very, very good speed.
Right. Who will be strong in the end?
Well, one thing about Floyd is he's a gym rat. He's in the gym every day, and the thing is, but it could be 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. Whenever he works out every day, but he's sporadic with what time he works out. But he is a gym rat, and he's well conditioned athlete. And man, he works really hard. He's just as conditioned. I think that might be even.
Right. How does a Manny Floyd matchup compare historically in boxing as far as being big?
The thing is that the matchup really isn't. It's a very compelling fight because you have the two best guys in the world. But style-wise, Floyd's not an exciting fighter. I mean, he is.
Right.
Floyd's the kind of puncher. He's a little bit boring at times. I will tell you this.
Okay.
That weigh the distractions. He's praying a lot.
Yeah.
Into God.
Right.
And okay, that's it. On this end, we got women, gambling.
Right.
Cockfighting.
Yeah.
Casinos.
Yeah.
Drinking.
Yeah.
Get rid of all that.
Great.
If you want to weigh the two, one's way better than the other.
Yeah.
So, the thing is Mary praying too much? I don't think so, because you know what? His tenacity in the ring is still unbelievable.
Yeah.
His work ethic hasn't changed at all. He's still explosive. He's beating me up every day in there. We got another 12 rounds to go today. I was worried about him maybe slacking off a little bit, not trying to hurt people and stuff.
Right.
But he knows boxing is a sport. It's the oldest sport in the world.
Yeah.
And he still does it well.
Do you think there should be more rules or guidelines in boxing to protect the boxer? Do you have any suggestions or solutions?
I think most damage is done in the gym. I think boxers spar too much, and I think most of the damage is really done in training. And people get hurt in the gym, then they go in scenarios. A lot of cases by guys get knocked out in the gym getting ready for a big fight, and then of course they keep it secret and put them in the fight, and then that fighter ends up getting injured. And the thing is, we need more loyalty to the trainers. To not, if a fighter gets hurt in the gym, you need to have downtime.
Yes.
You need to recover.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing, that trainers have to be more responsible for their fighters, because again, it's their lives that are at stake, and that's the most important thing in the world.
The most difficult situation at that time, I don't know, it could have been with drugs or violence or whatever, and the choices you made to get free, to get out of there.
Well, I think it was, for us, it was more violence, just gang fighting between different areas. Mm-hmm. And, because pretty much my mom and dad made sure we had food on the table every day. So we had food, so that's something that not everybody had.
Right.
So we always had food and stuff like that. So the violence, the older we got, the more violent we got, the bigger weapons we got. We went from baseball bats to knives to guns. Wow. So the thing is, when I finally made a conscious choice to get out of there, and like my friends say to me sometimes, "You're so lucky you get out of here," and I told them it was just a choice. I said, "You could do it too." I said, but they stayed in the projects, and then their kids had kids and stayed in the projects, and then it's just a cycle.
Right.
It becomes a routine for people.
Right.
And I didn't want routine. I wanted a better life. So I thought I was going to be world champion, and I thought I had potential and work ethic to do that. So I set off. I was a tree surgeon and arborist. I made enough money in my last job to buy a plane ticket to Las Vegas. I I bought my plane ticket to Las Vegas. I turned professional boxing, and I never touched another tree in my life.
What do you think is more difficult? Battling a physical thing or something within you, a weakness, an addiction, dishonesty, or whatever?
Well,
Can you comment on it?
yeah, being so disciplined. When I started drinking, I did it to escape because I was unhappy with my career. I didn't make it. I didn't become world champion. To me, I was a failure at that point of my life. So I started drinking, and then I started training fighters, and I started training Virgil Hill. And then Virgil was concerned. He said one day, he says, I think you're an alcoholic because you drink every day. I said, no, I can quit anytime I want. He says, well, let's make a bet. I bet you can't quit from now till my next fight, 6 weeks. So I said, okay, I'll take that bet. I took the bet. I won the bet so easily. After his fight, he defended his title. We all got a drink. We toasted, and I put that drink on the table and said it was too easy, and I never drank again. So it's just, I'm a very disciplined person in that way. It's choice, but I live a real clean life. I live a very disciplined life. I live a fighter's life.
What do you do to let go, to chill, to cool out? What can you share something on a personal note of what you do? Read comics, watch movies or what?
I go to movies. Sundays I go to the movie theater. Enjoy kills a couple hours. I know all movies are good. Some are better than others, but it's just that's my release. That's my downtime. I believe anyone in the world can choose to better their lives if they make that choice. Just make that right choice and work hard.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate this.